This with People News. Proceed forward.
To that and refusing my ability to even read a single word from it, like, I mean, instantly, dude. Instantly. They were fucking shitting bricks, right? And Shin was just making stuff up of reasons why I couldn't, right? Because, I watched how Outland introduces documents and has her witnesses read from it so that it's all part of the record, and I was just doing what they do, and Shin was like, oh, no, move on, Like, she would have, if I would have proceeded, she would have found a reason just to throw me out of the courtroom, because that's how fucking scared they were.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right? And then I thought of one more thing when I was during Outland's closing arguments today. So there's this thing that I noticed with liars. The obvious liars are the ones who just say positive statements that you can refute. The really good liars are harder to discern, and you have to look for what they don't say that they should be saying, or what they should do but they're not doing, right? So I figured out how. Oh no, I don't want to give this away because they're listening.
Don't.
Anyway, so
you have a plan.
The other funny thing is, Shin is giving Outland 55 minutes for her closing arguments. Right, which is unheard of.
Yeah. And so, I heard that you're going to be matched at the same amount. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. So I get, I can basically say whatever I want to. I'm not planning on using that much time, but I took copious notes on the bullshit she was saying today, and I can see what her angle of attack is and how she's trying to shape stuff, but she's worried, right? Like, she was conceding that, everybody knows that Mr. Enshu, absolutely loves his son. Like, she was giving me so many points of concession, like it's a gold mine to work with tomorrow.
Yes. Okay, so let me just, so you know what was filed. I remember you asked the tracking number for the so-called service, right?
Yeah.
Well, we filed a motion to dismiss the whole case because the tracking shows it was never delivered. It's going back. It's still on the way back to the sender. So that motion was filed. So
on that point, I got that in the evidence, right? Thanks to Jason, and then Outland tried to address that in her closing arguments by saying that she looked it up and it says that I refused it, and so she started saying that I personally refused the document, and that meant that I got it and refused it. And I objected and said, that's a false and misleading statement, that's a misdemeanor, no personal knowledge. Because the fact is this: I don't know why the tracking system says refused, but what actually transpired is that because I have a neighborhood mailbox like 150 yards from my house down the street, where it has a whole bunch of my neighbors. It's a lockbox system. So if a certified mail goes to that lockbox, and if I don't, if it's a certified mail, they'll leave the certified thing. It'll be like a notice of certified mail in the street lockbox, which will say you have to come to the nearest postal station to pick it up. And if I don't go to the post office with that slip and with my ID before such and such date, they return it. So that's all refused me. I never saw the fucking package. I never touched it. I was never within 2 miles of it.
Yeah, no, the same thing happening here. So what you just stated, that's how it works. Yes.
So that's cool. Thank you for working on that.
Well, at least it's on a record on your part, and it's also in record in writing for the appeal. That is going to matter a lot. So yeah. Anyways.
So have you even looked into doesn't a municipal court appeal go to the King County Superior Court?
There's going to be stuff happening in the court where you are. It's all coming. But anyways, I'm not gonna say any more than that.
That's fine. That's fine.
But I can just say that everything has been prepared by you and outside forces really well. Oh, just so you know, the district court has still not logged in the notice of transfer removal. Has not given the case number, so I called them today, and they are trying to get me off by saying, okay, well, make the payment and it's going to be logged in. And instead, I filed an emergency PRO on that one today, and copied the chief judge in his administrative capacity, and basically stated that the district court is delaying it administratively directed by chambers upon information and belief to attempt to moot the petition. So they now love me there as well. So anyways.
Yeah, they love to do that stuff from chambers. And so this is the removal for the domestic
Yes,
violence stuff.
yes. So now, but I like the fact that I took it to the chief judge. He's responsible. And when I called back after I sent it over, initially the woman that responded was like very negative. That's not how it's done. And then she went and checked and came back and said, it's going to be logged in. Thank you very much. We got everything. So we shall see.
Nice.
But the point was, it's going to go on a record, and the fact that in chambers, and we know that it's Whitehead, at least that's an educated guess. And I just did a bullseye, and I did not mention anything about habeas. I was thinking about doing that, but I decided against it because why give them an opportunity to do something that they should be doing when we don't really want them to do it on time?
Right.
So anyways, yeah. So groundwork for another beautiful lawsuit for you is coming. You need them. You're collecting them like collected items. But yeah, no. So you're now working on your closing arguments tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good.
I've got like 10 more minutes she's going to do in the morning, and then I get my time. Then she gets 5 minutes of rebuttal if she wants it.
Do you get a rebuttal to her rebuttal?
No, I think she gets final word because she's the prosecution.
Okay.
But so basically, she's going to do 50 minutes total. Then I have up to 55, and then she gets 5 minutes of rebuttal if she wants to exercise.
Did she already do some of her?
Yeah, she did. She did 40 minutes today. So then she gets to do 10 minutes, and then I get 55, and then she gets her 5 of her rebuttal. That's
actually very good that the jury is not hearing you tonight, because this is going to be fresh in the morning, and when they go and deliberate, they will have everything you say fresh in the mind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I was totally stoked with how it turned out.
And it seems that the jury was kind of bored about going on and ruling on about by the judge reading these charges and statutes, and everything was a violation of restraining order. Yeah.
Even the security guard, when we went into the elevator for recess or whatever, he made a joke. He was like, man, Judge Chin could have my kids falling asleep in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. But the feeling about the jury is still positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the people in the stands. The feeling is positive.
That's cool. I don't look at them at all because I don't want them to feel like I'm trying to influence them or read them or anything. So I don't look at them at all. So, but like the general vibe of the room, I feel like I watch, I read a lot just off of how Outland and Judge Chin are reacting. And
you have 1 minute left.
Do you want to call back or no?
Yeah, I'll call back.
Yeah.
The caller has hung up.
Chevy truck. I don't know what it's going to be after this, so I guess we're going to find out here in a minute. Skip.
Back on.
Yeah, so I was just saying that, like, reading Outland and Chin, it's like they look stressed, right? So I don't even need to look at the jury because if Outland's stressed, then clearly things are looking good, you know, all things considered.
Yes. I think you really got a good chance there at actually pulling off a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really stupid move. Well, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if it's stupid. I was going to say Chin was so obviously preventing me, A, from testifying, and B, from calling any witnesses. Like, that just looks bad. So they, you know, by pulling out the criminal complaints and my son's affidavit and power of attorney, I forced his hand, right? They had no good move.
Yeah. Perfect. And then seeing, like you described, them trying to shut down you reading from the stuff that they introduced, and I mean, the jury is observing, and I hear that the majority of the jury, 5 men and 2 women, is it 7 count altogether?
5 men and 2 women, I think.
Which is kind of interesting that they have majority men.
Right.
I mean, playing on a man is like very simple. Mostly it's men that get harmed in these types of relationship disputes. Yes, and so maybe, keeping that in mind, provided that they are not liberal morons, you never know. But on human level, they should be more understanding of what you're going through. And if you can see, you were forbidden in the motion in limine, which I actually found yesterday. The whole motion was listed, but they do not list all the stuff at all the cases. This was just under one, and I filed a general objection to it. But in that motion in limine, but anyway, it was I forgot to join with me. But anyway, what was I saying before that? God, I forgot.
You before the motion in limine?
Yeah.
You were talking about the composition of the jury and the
yes, and the men and all that stuff. That in the motion in limine specifically made an order, a petition by the city and approved by the judge that nobody should mention what your punishment will be if you're found guilty, and that's the 80 years something. What are they going to do if you mention it? But you should maybe weave it in very beautifully in, well, we heard like hour and a half when the judge was reading each count and what the charges were, but what they forgot to tell you that each of them carries a year, and if you count it together, it's 80 years. And they did, when they removed me from this court, this is what was decided behind my back. Maybe you can weave it in at the very end so that if they do shut you down and take you away, it will look really bad if that's how it ends, strategically. But that would be very good, because that would wake the jury up that this is not just something, a slap on a wrist or anything like that, because they are listening to this and it seems pretty benign and stupid and cantankerous. And if they are like in my jury, when they are like too sticklers to whatever the authority says to them, and they would abide, they need to understand that information is being kept from them. And the information is that you are facing 80 years in prison.
I know, it's kind of a lot. I mean, I feel like a young 55, but I'm trying to think ahead to when I'm 136.
Well, today you can live that long, I believe, but not necessarily behind bars. So there you go.
Yeah, because I want to see my son when I'm,
Yes, and
136.
You're right. But I do, 100%. But I do believe that strategically, if you can do that as an exclamation point at the very end, and finish with that one, that would be effective. I mean, just as a thought.
Just hypothetically. No, I
Just
know.
hypothetically, yeah.
You didn't have
Yeah.
to give me legal advice.
Yeah, I just give you general advice, which I love to do. Maybe all wrong, but I love to do it anyway.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
business.
because your general advice is Napoleonic. Let me just say that.
Thank you.
So the other thing that I actually got on the record in front of the jury is that Chin, like I've been pointing out the fact that Outland, the custodial interference, it doesn't have a date that I committed it. It's a 10-month fucking time range that supposedly happens somewhere within, which is it violates the constitutional requirements of particularity. Right? And so I've been harping on Judge Chin about this for 2 weeks, right? And I brought it up again when the jury wasn't in the room and we were just going over the jury instructions, just us. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll address that, in a few minutes." And then she didn't. And then I brought it up again in front of the jury, and she's still not. She's basically just letting the prosecution have a 10-month time frame. And I'm like, are you guys fucking insane? Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
They are slightly insane because Outland even said in court. I mean, the jury wasn't in there. Because I brought up statute of limitations about this issue, and Outland was like, "Oh, statute of limitations doesn't start when the crime is committed. It starts when we file charges."
That is not true. Yeah.
And I was like, "OMG! Did I just hear an attorney say?"
Yeah.
Like,
they can only. My understanding is only if you agree to the extension, then it will start count again. Or if you don't live in the state a certain period of time, then that time is not counted.
Yeah, if you're out of state, but I haven't been out of state. And
correct.
I think to Jill,
exactly.
I read RCW 98.04.080 section 1. I know what the fuck it says. Like, don't.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're making all the good points, Richie. Do you want me to read or do you want to call AJ? I'm just trying to see when he did some closing arguments a few days ago.
Oh, yeah. So, is there any chance that he could email that to Jason and Jason could print it off?
Yes, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Yes,
okay.
Absolutely smart idea.
I'll try calling him right now, but there's no way for me to, write down.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
What he has. But I'll call him right now just to get an overview and see what he has to say.
Yes, absolutely. That sounds like a great idea.
All right.
Yes, finish line and looking good. No matter which way it is, it's going to be good.
Oh,
and that's the beautiful thing.
Totally. Yeah. 100%. I'm happy either way. I've been having a great time.
Yeah. I was just saying to Dan when he called me after he left, is that you already have won. That's number one on appeal, right? Already. So now we are just waiting the icing on a cake. Are you going to get the jury on your side as well or no? That's just an icing on a cake, which would be like something that you can always say, see what I achieved. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But you already have won.
It would be see what all of my friends helped me achieve.
Well, you know what? There are a lot of people that are helping other people, but it doesn't mean that the major player, the major character can pull it off, because you can have a million geniuses around you, and if you're a moron, it doesn't matter what advice you get. And if you are a genius and if you have a sea of morons, you will still win because you will pick the advice that the morons are giving because you're genius. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So you're doing it.
All right. We just got a couple more seconds in there. This will be the People News. Till next time. Bye, y'all.